Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks Garage. So, this sensor has been kind of eluding me. I thought I knew what I needed. I bought parts I thought I needed. Come to realize the parts I'm seeing aren't in the places where I thought they were going to be based on other people's videos. And it turns out, and I still haven't found it yet to be honest, there's about 3 places this sensor I think can be. In the first place I thought it was on the inside. So I am on the driver's side or left hand side of the car here. And so if you have one that has this plug right here with a wire right here going down, if you follow that down, it goes to a plug down here in between the spark plugs that I thought is where the temperature sensor would be. Well, it turns out this one here is for your gauge. This tells your gauge how warm the motor is, but the actual temperature sensor that tells your computer if the car is working correctly is in another spot, and I'm not sure if it's further up that way between the spark plugs or another place I've seen some on other than Astrovans. I just kind of started looking up where it was on this motor in particular. That's how I found out that that one there is for the gauge. But another spot is under the hood here, and I think I got to remove all this stuff. I've kind of looked down in here and I don't see it underneath here, and because of that I'm going to go ahead and yet again go under my rig. Well, and keep in mind I have disconnected my battery. You should really do that, especially when you're working on any kind of electrical things. Alright, so there's your oil pan right there. We're going to the driver's or left hand side, which is over on this side because we're coming in from underneath the rig. And if you look right up through there, hopefully I can put a little pointy thing, you'll see kind of 2 spark plugs. One is there and one is on the other side of that metal shield right here. There's a metal shield, and if you go right up in between those spark plugs, you'll see something that kind of looks like a spark plug. It's kind of that gray with a black tip right straight up there. So hopefully you'll see this. Hopefully I'll be able to, sometimes I can make the little arrow things work, sometimes I can't. So regardless, that is where the sensor I just showed you is. And that, I would say, if you're trying to get it from under here, it's way easier to take the time and take the doghouse out and get it from probably up above. You can choose for yourself, but reaching it from up in there I think would be easier in my personal opinion. Yet again, we got to pull this thing off because I'm pretty sure it's underneath here. I have another video on that, so I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this. So if you need a more in-depth version of this, go check out my Astrovan playlist yet again, and you will find probably something about taking the air box off. I gotta remember how to do it. This is this. Oh, there it is. Way down here underneath the upper radiator hose, right next to the thermostat, which is where I would have assumed it would have been. But yet again, I kept watching videos showing people taking it out from the side underneath the doghouse there. So that must just be a difference between this particular year and other years of the Astrovan. So this is a 97 yet again. If you have a different year, it could be in either it's going to be here or it's going to be inside under the doghouse in between your spark plugs. One of those 2 places you'll find this particular piece. There it is there, off Amazon. Pause it and take numbers if you need to. Yet again, I will put a price somewhere in the screen here of how much I paid for it. And there is what it looks like. It's got a plug-in like that on there. So that is what the sensor is that we are going to try and replace down in there. And that's another thing. You probably are going to lose some antifreeze doing this, so you might want to throw a bucket underneath. So you got your cruise control box right here. You got your engine oil dipstick right here. Follow your top radiator hose all the way down to there. And right underneath this is where we need to be. Now I could maybe get it by maneuvering some of this stuff around, which I may try to do. But I'm going to be dealing with this heater hose, this wiring thing, which I might go ahead and try and take off, and our radiator hose, and then there's a heater hose right in front of it here that I'm going to be dealing with. So quite honestly, I'm going to go ahead, throw a bucket underneath here, and I'm going to remove this upper radiator hose right here. Unfortunately, my camera yet again keeps shutting itself off. I don't know what's going on, but I just undid the radiator hose from right here and pulled it off. Not too much came out, but a bit came out. We're just going to stick that actually probably up here somewhere so it's out of your way, hopefully. Yep. And under right here, there's your water neck, and right here, down here, I am touching where that part is. Now I got a clip here. This is totally optional, but quite honestly, for as easy as it is to pull that, I'm gonna get it out of my way. And here's this hose right here, which we could unhook down there. I'm not going to. It's a heater hose of some sort. There's also a bracket right here. I have no idea. They must have realized there wasn't enough strength there and just added a bracket that I probably can undo and move it out of my way to get all that out of my way. And I think I'm going to start out, looks like a 10 millimeter or something smaller down here, a bigger one up here, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and that'll allow all that to get out of my way. But yeah, right down behind here, just going to use a screwdriver to kind of pry up on it. Let's see if I can get both sides to come apart here and pull up. There we go. There's that plug right there. Holy cow, that is very corroded in here, which leads me to wonder if it's my wiring could be having an issue rather than the plug. So there's where the thermostat housing is right here, and right behind this, down in there, right here, is the part we're going after. I don't know if you can see that, but one of those is really corroded looking, as well as here's the plug that it goes to, and as you can see, that's corroded as well. So we're gonna have to clean all this up. That could be what our problem is right there. I don't know what's caused that, if there's a little leak or something going down in there, but hopefully we'll clean it up and we'll be all right. So up by the air compressor, we got a 13 millimeter. Oh my goodness, and it is on there, and as you can see, it's on there really tight. So I got my cheater here. Maybe going all the way down in here, so I might want to rethink the idea here. So I'm going to go with the 10 millimeter down here on the bottom one, and I got a wobbly socket on it. This one's definitely not as tight. Alright. Lose that. And that definitely moves that out of the way just by bringing this up enough to where I can kind of maneuver it. I'm going to pull that to the side here, my socket in there, and yet again, she isn't on there tight. Oh, that thing was in there for sure. Yet again, more antifreeze coming out of there. So the next thing we got, I need to clean this up. It's definitely got some nasties here, and I got some electronics cleaner, and I'm just gonna shoot all over in this and let that kind of maybe do its thing. And I got this little pick file here. I'll look in this and see. Yeah, we don't have any problems there. There's just this one, which leads me to wonder if I have a grounding problem or something like that. Quite honestly, this little file here is even too big for this, really. Found another little pick in the kit there. It's a little wider, but it's thinner. So I can get down in there and do a little bit more cleanup on the edges here. Well, it's the next day. My son is actually inside buttoning up some stuff we're doing on the inside. Yet again, go watch my Astrovan playlist. You'll see all kinds of videos I've done on this rig. But now it is time to put this sensor in here. We got our new sensor, and I went and I grabbed some of this right here from Harbor Freight. So this is more similar to most like gasket seals, unfortunately, where you're supposed to put it on, let it dry for, or tighten it by hand, let it dry for an hour, and then finish tightening it up. But I'm still going to use it. It's silicone. It's a gasket seal. It hopefully won't hurt. And so I'm just going to put some right up here at the top over what's already here, and we're going to stick that in. Okay. Alright, and that is good and snug in there. You don't need a reef on it, just kind of go till it doesn't want to go no more and stop. Then we're going to plug it back in and hope everything works here. Now we're going to just put everything back the way it came out. So now we're going to go ahead and dump some antifreeze in here and hope we have enough. So I've let it ran for a while, made sure all the fluid is topped off now. I have a video on this if you want to know anything about it. This definitely helps to some extent, but it's not as mess free as they claim. Alright, well there you go. Hopefully you got something out of this. Thanks for watching Junkworks Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.